Studies have shown that even the most accurate fitness trackers and wearables can be misreporting the caloric burn rate by up to 23%. And the most inaccurate ones, up to 93%. And on top of that, the FDA allows for a 20% buffer when companies are reporting their nutrition facts on the food labels. But there is one way to find out how many calories you're burning and consuming with 100% accuracy. Say hello to Calorify. All right, everyone, we got a good one for you today. A little sciencey, but man, I am excited. Now, if you've been following this channel for any amount of time, actually, wait, first, if you've been following this channel but haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that. All right, so now that you're subscribed, I can continue. But as I was saying, if you've been following this channel for any amount of time, I assume you're into fitness. And with fitness comes nutrition, and you can't really talk about nutrition without talking about calories. Now, I'm not someone who usually tracks my calories. I do try to estimate my protein intake. I do think my protein intake is very important. I try to get in at least 1 gram per pound of body weight a day. And I do measure how many carbs I'm taking during harder, longer sessions to make sure I'm fueled enough. But during peak Ironman training, when I'm training, 5 to 6 hours a day, 2-3 times a week, burning anywhere between, I think my average calorie burn per day during the prep to Ironman Florida, 8 to 12 weeks out, I was anywhere between 3 and on some days, I was up to 6,000 calories. And when you're burning that many calories, it's kind of a pain in the butt to have to track, 7,000 calories worth of food. I mean, you're going to be on your phone for a long time. But it is very important when you're training that much that you're getting in not just enough protein or carbs, but just enough calories in general. Calories are king. And if you're not getting enough before, during, and after sessions, then you're going to be compromising recovery and thus compromising your performance. And so that's why when I heard of Calorify, I got extremely excited because as you guys heard in the intro, it's pretty hard, besides the time commitment it takes to logging all your food, tracking everything. I mean, the amount of error that you can get through just, and I wear a Garmin fitness watch and I have the heart rate strap, but I know that it's going to be a little bit off. I think Garmin is one of the best out there, but even with their calculations and all that, I know that my Garmin is going to be a little off when it comes to the calorie counting. And on top of that, you put the 20% error that nutrition labels can bring. I mean, it wouldn't be hard for you to be thinking you burn 3,000 calories and you're eating 3,000 calories, but then you're actually burning only 2,500 and eating 3,500. So that's why when I heard of Calorify, I got pretty excited because what Calorify is a company that uses doubly labeled water, and they can 100% accurately measure how many calories you burn and consume on a day. Now, I do have to give a quick disclaimer. Calorify did send out this kit, but they did not ask me to do a review of this, nothing. I just wanted to share this with you guys because I think it is incredibly valuable. And if you do want to try out Calorify for yourself, I will have a discount code. I'll put it, at the end of this video, or I'll insert it now. Currently editing the Calorify video, and I did get my discount code. So if you just enter code Parker at checkout, I believe it saves you $50. So yeah, if you do end up picking up a kit, drop a comment in the comment section down below. But as you guys can see, this is unopened, so I thought I would do a little quick unboxing. I'm not actually gonna do the test today because it's actually Monday and a rest day, so I don't want to, you know, do it on a day that I'm not doing much or eating too much. I'm actually gonna be testing on this Saturday when I have, I'll be doing, you know, a 60 to 90 minute swim in the morning, 4-hour bike, a run, maybe some sauna, steam, we'll see. So yeah, I am going to open this up, and then the next few clips will be of me doing the test and all the activities and whatnot. So let's see what this looks like. So opening it up, let's see, we have a little pamphlet here. You do have to take urine samples for this test, but I'll read you the instructions. So day 1, first thing in the morning, you have to collect sample A, record your weight and the date and time on the sample card, drink an entire bottle of Calorify water, which is right here. I'll take that out later. 4 to 6 hours later, collect sample B, record the date and time on the sample card, and then day 8, first thing in the morning, collect sample C, record your weight and date and time on the sample card. So it looks like this is an 8-day testing protocol, testing schedule. Tips for success: avoid major travel, have a scale available, and then they have a little FAQ thing as well. Yeah, so it shows you how to collect the samples and all that jazz. So let's take this out. Show you guys. So what is, okay, so I assume this is what you put the samples in when you're done, and you ship it off to the lab. This is the Calorify water. So this is what you drink on day 1. Here's a little sticker for you to put on your luggage so everyone knows that you're hardcore and super into fitness. Here are the cups for you to take your samples with. And last but not least, little pipettes. 3 pipettes for 3 tests. So yeah, that's kind of what the samples look like. And I will be tracking all my calories. Yeah, the samples, that's right. Or the test kit rather. But as I was saying, I will be tracking all my calories with the Garmin. As I said, I wear a heart rate strap, I use power. So it should be accurate. And then I will also be logging my food. I probably won't be logging my food on every day. But I will be logging my food most days of the 8-day sample period. So then we can get a look at exactly how many calories I think I'm burning and consuming compared to the actual number of calories I'm burning and consuming. So yeah, I'm extremely excited for this, and I will definitely be using the results of this test in training and in future race preps. So I think that's gonna do it for this quick little clip. Now I'm not gonna be recording myself taking the samples, but I will be recording some exercise that I do throughout the 8-day period and anything I notice. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in whenever I pick up the camera next, I guess. Oh, really quickly, if you're all looking for a coach, NVDM coaching, trying to start off the 2024 season strong, drop me an email. I have it in the comment section, not the comment section, the description box down below. Yeah, get you started. Oh, I actually opened up this little box and I saw that there's a collection tubes in here, and there's a little sample card with a schedule, so you can track your weight during the time. So see if you gained weight, lost weight, whatever it may be. So yeah, pretty cool. Well, it's Sunday morning. I was gonna start the test on Saturday, like I said, but I completely forgot. So we started today, but it doesn't really matter. I actually realized when I started because it's 8 weeks long, or not 8 weeks, 8 days long, so I get every day anyway. But yeah, just did the first sample. I was 145 and a half pounds, so yeah, usually I'm around 140 to 145. It's a little heavy, but it's off season. But I'm gonna drink the Calorify water, and then I need to take two more. I need to take another sample today, and then in 8 days. So we'll do that, and I'm not sure what else I'm gonna film. It just maybe more of me going over the results, but we'll see. We got a long run today and some weights. Should be a good one. Oh, I'm actually gonna go get my body fat tested tomorrow, so we can compare that to what Calorify says. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Just water. So it's been quite some time since I recorded those clips, and yeah, so I didn't do a very good job of filming anything. I really didn't know what to film, to be honest. I thought about filming some training. It was just regular training week though, so I didn't. But we are about to hop on a call. I got my results back, and yeah, I am very excited to see what they have to say about them. Long story short, I burn a lot of calories. Just how many? Well, let's find out. Um, yeah, so if you want to, we can get started. I know I did the test, and I it was very easy to do. I signed up for the text notifications, sent me the reminders when to take the samples and everything, which was very helpful, especially on that 8th day. I almost forgot. But yeah, having that. But yeah, it was very simple, straightforward to do. Didn't see any issues with that. But I did have kind of a few questions. I was kind of looking at the results, and yeah, I guess this has to do with the results if we want to pull those up. And
Yeah,
go.
let's go for it.
Oh yeah.
Hop right into it.
Yeah, I just was at first off, I'm a little confused as how does it exactly work? Because I know you guys, it says like it's just regular water. So how do you guys use regular? How do you have me drink regular water, then take my urine sample, and then get all this data from that? How does it work?
Yeah, it's H2O, but it's not regular water in the same sense that it has the exact same chemical composition as.
Oh, okay.
So are you familiar with isotopes?
Yes, 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 yes.
So isotopes are forms of the same element that have
Yeah.
a different mass, right? They have a
Got
different
it.
number of neutrons in the nucleus. And so there are different forms of hydrogen and oxygen in the water in your body right now.
Yeah.
So about 0.2% of the water in your body, for example, has oxygen 18 on it, as opposed to oxygen 16, which is the most common form of oxygen. 8 protons, 8 neutrons is the
Got
most
it.
common. 99+% of oxygen is that. 0.2% of the oxygen in your body right now is 2 extra neutrons on it. And so what we do is we know that you have these background levels in your body, and we measure them with that first urine sample.
Yeah.
Then you drink this sip of water that has spiked levels of deuterium and oxygen 18. So they're perfectly natural, perfectly safe forms of hydrogen and oxygen that are already in your body right now. But we've spiked them so that we can essentially see the hydrogen and oxygen travel through your body and out through your urine sample. So then you collect your second urine sample at the spike, and we watch how they travel out of your body through that third urine sample.
Got it.
Now, let's break it down in terms of the science of how this actually measures calories.
Yeah.
So hydrogen leaves your body as water, H2O, urine, breath, sweat. Oxygen leaves your body as water, but also CO2 that you breathe out, right?
Yes.
So the oxygen is going to leave your body faster.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between the rate that hydrogen and oxygen leave your body equals the amount of CO2 that you exhaled during that week that you tested. And so think about a VO2 max test, okay?
Yeah.
Exact same chemistry, exact same math as a VO2 max test, literally the identical concept. That mask is measuring the amount of oxygen and CO2 going in and out of that mask.
Got it. Yep.
We're measuring the amount of oxygen and CO2 going in and out of your body, but we don't have to wear the mask. It's like a 24/7 VO2 max test, and we just pick up the exact same chemical signature in your urine sample instead. What that means is you get to go live your normal life, eat your normal diet, do your normal training. You don't have to wear an apparatus, and we quantitatively measure CO2 in the exact same way that a VO2 max test gets done.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And then how do you guys differentiate, because there's the different ways calories are burned. So how do you know how much I'm burning through just like, you'll see this in the chart, but through exercise, through daily activity, just through being alive, like resting metabolic rate. And then why do you have me, because there is that option for me to input my exercise. I know after the test, there's like, I can input the daily activities burn that my Garmin told me I burned. So I guess why would you need that, or what did that information provide as well?
Right. So what we were just talking about, the whole CO2 being exhaled, we measured the whole pie, right?
Yeah.
We measured the total. Then we measured your lean body mass.
And how do you get that?
Yeah, that is a process called deuterium dilution. This is as accurate as DEXA, actually.
Oh, really?
But so the way that it works is when you drink that sip of water, it only goes into your lean tissues. It dilutes through your lean body mass. It doesn't go into your fat tissue. Fat doesn't absorb water. And so basically, imagine this analogy, perfect analogy. Imagine your first urine sample is perfectly clear.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to drink this sip of these special isotopes, but we'll just call it dark purple food coloring.
Okay.
So you drink this dark purple food coloring, and now your next pee is going to be some type of light purple, right?
Yeah.
If it's the lighter the purple, the more lean body mass that you have.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And so that's what we do. So from your lean body mass, it's a very accurate equation that translates over. It translates basically the number of cells you have in your body into how many calories it takes at rest, your BMR. And so we used one of those common equations to do that. There are a few different equations you can choose from. We're happy to use any one you want, by the way, if you have a particular preference.
No.
Basically, that it's a simple translation over to there.
Yeah.
So what we got now is we got your total and we got your BMR from your lean body mass.
Yeah.
You give us the exercise. There's no way for us to tell without you telling us.
Yeah.
And then there's another 2 pie slices. One is called the thermic effect of food.
Yeah.
So the thermic effect of food is the energy it takes to digest. Did you give us macros?
I did not, but I have a very high protein. I was originally going to plan on tracking food, but then as you can see how much calories I have to eat, you'll see tracking 6,500 calories worth of food a day. That's why I use the scale to track my weight. I track 2 things. I track my weight and I track my protein. I try to get at least 1 gram. I have tracked protein in the past, like more meticulously, and I'm usually around 180 grams of protein. So I'm very high on the protein. As long as I make sure I get enough of protein and then I fuel my workouts, those are really the only 2 things I track. I just don't really track total calories. I know as long as my weight is relatively stable, then I'm doing a good job.
Well, I think you are doing a great job. Your weight is stable, and that does sound like a great amount of protein. I'm not an expert in that area, but that seems like a lot of protein.
Yeah.
What we do is we measure how many calories you eat by combining how many you burn that we measure with your weight change. And that's why we ask for multiple weigh-ins, because we know, especially athletes like you, your weight's going to fluctuate all over the place with how much glycogen you have, the salt, the hydration, everything, right? So we take all your weigh-ins, we smooth them out, and then we calculate based on your weight change and how much you're burning, how much you're eating. And that's the gold standard for how many calories you're eating. There's no better way of actually measuring that. And then we take that number of calories and we subdivide them by the macros that either you report to us or in your case, we would use just a typical like Western diet, or, somebody tells us if they're on a keto diet, we plug in the values for that. We know, for example, that protein has a really high thermic effect of food. It's about 20 to 30%.
Yeah.
So if you eat 100 calories of protein, you're only going to absorb 70 or 80, versus if you eat 100 calories of fat, you're going to absorb like 97 to 100 calories. Yeah. Carbs are about 5 to 10% thermic effect. So we measure it there, and then we just calculate it.
Got it.
And then if we take all three of those, your basal metabolic rate, your thermic effect of food, and your exercise, subtracted from the total equals your NEAT, your non-exercise calories.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
That's how we make the pie chart.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So I think that looking at the pie chart, I do think that if anything, that the thermic effect of food for me would probably be higher than what is reported, just because,
based on what you just told me, it'd probably be a little bit higher, and therefore your NEAT would be a little bit smaller.
I have noticed, I think that the Garmin probably overestimates a little bit. So in reality, I think I probably burn less through exercise and more through the thermic effect of food.
Right.
If that would make sense.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Totally. What else? What other questions do you have? These are really good questions.
Yeah, no, the two biggest things was how you guys calculate the body fat, looking at 6.7% body fat. I almost wish that I took the test like a week later, because right there my weight was like around 146, but for the last 2 months or so, I've been in a slight caloric deficit since I raced Ironman Florida, and since I raced Ironman Florida around like 148 pounds, and this morning I actually woke up at 142 pounds. So I've lost quite a bit of weight since then. But it seems like this one test week, I pretty much didn't lose any weight. It's like the only week in the past, 2 months that I didn't lose any weight, it seemed like.
Well, one of the things I'll offer, right, is just you have all this weigh-in data. Just send us more weigh-in data, and we'll keep updating it for you. We'll keep doing that slope, that math.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
All right. Send us like 3 weeks of daily weigh-ins, and we'll just plot your slope for you, and we'll figure out, are you truly in a deficit or not? Because we know there's a lot of noise, so we can smooth that out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. After this call, I will send you. So I weigh myself every day, so I'll send you pretty much the last week or last month of weigh-ins. And that'd be super cool to take a look at, see about my actual count, because it's tricky trying to lose weight being an endurance athlete. People may say it's like, oh, it's easy, because you're exercising so much. But the thing is, when you're trying to optimize performance, you don't want to lose too much weight too quickly, because then you're going to be sacrificing performance.
Right.
And so that's why people always say like, oh, how much weight do you lose when you're in Ironman prep? I'm like, actually, I gain weight in Ironman prep, because when I'm training so much, I'm just trying to eat as much, fuel my workouts as much as I can. So that's why I'm actually trying to cut back a little bit weight during this off season, where I'm not too concerned about my performance, like, dropping a little bit when I have so much time until my next race.
Interesting. Okay. Well, can I ask, what kind of week was this for you? Like, I mean, this looks, these numbers are really big for us, but not insane.
It was a relatively normal week. Nothing crazy for me. Yeah.
Are you doing? One of the things that I'm impressed with is you're burning a lot, and you have a high, what's called physical activity level, which is how many BMRs you're burning. So you're burning over 4 times your basal metabolic rate.
Yeah.
In the literature, 2.5 is around what's been observed to be the limit for people to sustain day in, day out, year after year. But we know also you go through a periodized training, and you have different blocks. Some of them are really high volume. Then you taper, you race, you take time off, and all of that. And we're just trying to figure out, like, do you think you're above average this week if you look at it on
for me personally
basis? Like on a 52 week per year basis, how big of a week is this? Is it above average, below average, or average?
Probably average, I'd say.
Okay.
I'd say if anything, I'd say a little average, if anything a little bit below average, to be honest.
Okay,
but let's see, so
how many hours are you training on this?
Let's see I have my training peaks pulled up on my phone right now, actually.
Yeah, so let me see here. The test day was 12/3.
So December 3rd, so the week of December 4th to December 10th.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was 35. I logged 35 hours of training that week. Now, granted, quite 5 to 7 hours of that is yoga, mobility, strength training stuff that I also logged. Triathlon related, I probably was between 25 and 30 hours. So that's relatively normal for me, I would say. In peak Ironman prep, there may be 1 or 2 weeks where I'm doing more. I've logged a few 40-hour weeks. Now that would be above normal. But I would say, like, for example, so that was 35 hours. The week after that, which was last week, I did 38 hours. The week before that was 34 and a half hours. And the leading back up, and the week before that was 34 and a half hours or 32 and a half hours. So it's relatively normal for me. My mom can attest that I train a lot, right?
Hey, we're looking at his metabolism. Unbelievable stuff. Yeah.
Tell my mom how many calories I burn and eat a day.
So now Parker is one of the, hey, I see now. So only about 15,000 people have ever taken this test, which is the gold standard for how many calories you eat and burn in a real world setting. So this is second highest all time for us. We had an NBA superstar just below this, but he's got a lot more lean body mass than Parker. He's a bigger guy, he's 7'1". And then we have a Tour de France guy, like a world tour guy who was in a really big week at 8,900 calories. But you're our second biggest ever, actually, at 6,868 calories per day. It's a lot. That's a lot.
I know what you're doing. So
yeah. Well, I was just double checking, right? I was like, tell me about your week.
Yeah.
Like he makes you feel like you don't do nothing. Like
yeah. I was mentioning to him, I was an all-American distance runner, but we just couldn't put in this kind of volume running. I mean, you know,
that's why I ever ran was
like
triathlon. Yeah, with triathlon,
most I ever ran was like 112 miles a week, and I still think I would have been burning a lot less than this, just because you have to put in so much additional time. It's crazy. The thing that I was going to mention is that, given that you are significantly over that 2.5, like. The thing that I'm surprised and impressed with is that you're actually in energy balance. And I saw this with not only you, but also with the Tour de France guy. So you're doing something right in terms of fueling. Like, in the scientific literature, there isn't evidence that people have sustained, like, basically being able to absorb this many calories. But the fact that you actually have trained at this volume and that you've maintained your weight basically proves that somehow you actually are getting the calories on board.
That's interesting. Well, that's actually one thing I'm trying to work on, is because I've been able to fuel my bike portion of a triathlon very well, but I've always had a downfall on the run. So that's something I'm trying to do, is working on fueling more for the run. But I have noticed, like, on the bike, I can take in, 100, 110 grams of carbs per hour, no issues. And yeah, I eat a lot before, after sessions as well. Yeah, and I can eat a lot.
Yeah, I think it's amazing too, like with this volume of training, that he can like level up with eating.
Yeah.
But I would just look at maybe at his sugar.
Yeah, I do eat a lot of, I think a bit too much sugar, but
sugar.
Like anything that's easy to digest at this level, you're burning so much. Like, yeah, I'm not a nutritionist, but it does look like you're doing a pretty impressive job of actually getting it in there. Because I know if you actually are training over 30 hours per week, that it doesn't leave that much time to eat.
A lot of peanut butter. I eat a lot of peanut butter.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice to meet you.
Cool. Nice meeting you as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Take care. Yeah, so this is pretty interesting. I think that fueling has to be the limiting factor. Think about it.
Yeah.
There's a finite number of calories you can eat, right? I don't know what that number is for you, but there is a limit. And that has to be equal to how many you can sustainably burn.
Yeah.
So you can overextend, you can overreach for blocks, and you're going to lose weight, but you can't just keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other thing about being in those energy limited states is that that sets you up for overuse injuries and all that kind of stuff. But when we go over to your energy availability, which is how many non-exercise calories are you eating? So what we do is how many calories you eat minus how many calories you burn during training.
Okay.
You take that per kilo of lean body mass. You actually look like you have great energy availability. So even though you're burning a lot, energy availability tells me that you're fueling well.
Oh, great. Yeah. And that's something I've really been focusing on. Yeah, except for, like I mentioned, the run. I'm working on that, but the bike is something I've always done well. Feel well on the bike. So
yeah, it's really impressive.
Yeah.
Are you using any of this like Morton like gel hydrogel stuff or no?
So actually I tried the Morton bicarb system before Ironman Florida. I wasn't too impressed with it. But honestly, 95% of my training sessions I fuel with sugar, maple syrup, and salt. Yeah, I'll take a gel here and there, but yeah, I don't use crazy hydration and nutrition supplements. It's just mostly very basic stuff.
Well, this is really interesting. So tell me more about, yourself and your platform. Like, what are the kinds of things that you do outside of training? It seems like you have some other things.
I'm a coach. I'm a coach with NVDM coaching. You may have heard of Natasha Vandermeer. She's the head owner of NVDM, and she's also my coach. But yeah, so I'm a full-time triathlete. I'm looking to take my pro card here within the next year or so. I qualified for Kona 2024, so I'll be racing there. And then, outside of that, I have a YouTube channel where I started relatively recently where I kind of, document my triathlon training and racing. But yeah, I'm a coach. I also have 35 athletes right now, which is, pretty much a full-time job on its own. And it's pretty much all I do. So eat, sleep, breathe, triathlon and training, which honestly, I love. Obviously, you probably tell, you wouldn't be able to train as much as I do if you don't love it. So, yeah. And I do think speaking of training stuff, most of the caloric burn, I think definitely comes from the bike. I'm logging, between 16 and 19 hours on the bike week. And that's why I couldn't I used to be a runner, and that's why I started triathlon was I was getting injuries, from running too much. So the great thing about triathlon is you can train a lot more and don't have to worry as much about injuries.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, I had a lot of injury issues just with running. I mean, it's just, and I also think the shoe technology's come a long ways, but yeah, still, this is only so much you can pound.
Yeah, definitely.
So. Awesome, man. Well, this is great. Let me know if I can plug in or help in any other way.
I'll send like I mentioned, I'll send you my weights from the last month or so, because that'd be super interesting to get a better idea of where I'm at. And then would you also be able to track kind of, I'm not sure how you'd be able to do this, but body fat percentage from kind of where I started to where I am now? Because I know with that 6.7%, was that at like the beginning of the week? Was that at the end of the week? It was
the beginning. It was day one.
Got it.
What else? I mean, it is very accurate, but there are error bars on every body fat measurement. One of the things that will affect your body fat measurement is how hydrated you are when you took that, because that's that simple water thing, right?
Yeah.
So if you were a little dehydrated, you'll have a higher body fat percentage. And if you're like really well hydrated that morning, maybe you'll have a lower body fat percentage. The other thing is when it's somebody like you that's already so lean, right?
Yeah.
You like 136 pounds of lean body mass here. Like the percentages are going to start to vary wildly, even if you have 1 pound more or less of body fat, right? So like I wouldn't get too caught up into the percentages, but what we measured is that you got 136 pounds of lean mass and about 10 pounds of fat mass. And I would bet that you have, somewhere around 10, maybe it's 12 pounds of fat mass. And that might move the percent.
Yeah.
Quite a big number, but it's just a tiny variation in how hydrated you are when you took it. The test is very accurate, but I wouldn't read what is it? 6.7%. Maybe. I mean, maybe it's 9.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 8. I doubt it's 5 or below, because I think it would really impair your performance. So it's somewhere in the vicinity of there. It means you're very lean. Wouldn't just read too much into the percentage though. Once you get single digits, it's like it's hard. It's kind of hard
It
to even
depends on the
measure.
day. Yeah.
It depends so much. So
Got it. Great.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess, is there anything else that I pretty much asked all the questions I had? I'm not sure if there's anything else that kind of stood out to you, or that you wanted to bring up.
No, those things all jump out to me. I mean, the one thing I will say is this training sustainability measurement. For you, if you're doing this and you're fueling this well, maybe this doesn't work. I think it works for most.
260% of my
Right.
system.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
but that's compared to the 2.5 limit, and you're at 4.
Yeah.
So that's why. But what this is also telling us here is that you're fueling so well. What this says, according to the literature, is that you could sustain this for like 51 days before you start to either lose weight or get injured or sick or something, some other reason you would drop your expenditure or your weight. Maybe you and this new wave of elite endurance athletes are actually redefining that limit for us. It's never been published in the literature, I'll tell you that. So I'd like to kind of keep an eye on this, and like it'd be really cool if we can keep talking about this, because again, it's you and this Tour de France team that we're working with, and a few others that are basically, what you guys are basically proving to us is that it's possible to fuel better than we ever thought, which is really cool. We're open to working with you and your coaching practice. I think if I could come up with a use case for people besides just, it's cool, but like identifying fueling needs, like, so say that people are going through different blocks, like test them on an early week in that block, and then you've got their nutritional needs set for when they're at that volume. Another one is if you have athletes that are struggling with body composition and you want to improve their body composition in a way that doesn't impair their performance or get them injured or get them burnt out or make them yo-yo or whatever, we can help with all that calorie math and all that planning. We can just dial in their metabolism, help you dial in the calorie deficit or surplus they need, and then track it. And it gets way, way, way more accurate. Again, we're a tool. We're not some magic hack. Like, we're not some secret supplement or something like that. You still have to do all the work for yourself, but pretty much we will take the guesswork out of anything they're trying to accomplish with respect to how much they should fuel or what their body composition, trajectory should be. And then the last one is if there are people that are struggling with like overuse injuries or overtraining or burnout or things like that, we can get a handle on it with the energy availability measurement. All that kind of stuff.
So in the past, anyone that knows me knows that I walk a very fine, as you can probably tell, a fine line between training to my maximum and overtraining. I've dealt with quite a few overuse injuries, but I'd say almost all of it has been running related. And I'd be interested to see how much, if fueling has also played a role, because I have read or listened to podcasts that talk about, going on runs in a carb depleted state and not fueling runs enough can help lead to injury or can increase injury risk. So I definitely think that has played a role in as well. But over the last month or so, 2 months, I've really started working more on mobility, my running form. I started using a mobile board, and I have never felt better in my run than I have these last 2 months. Before, after doing runs, my run, and you can see my training load is close to it's very high right now. And my run,
what is your, like, I'm just curious, what does a CTL look like for somebody like you?
So like in terms of like on Training Peaks so my training stress score is between let's see, 1800. Now granted,
per week.
Per week. That between so the week that we tested, it was 1800.
Your fitness is like 250 or something like that.
Leading up to an Ironman, it was like 250, 260. Now I say this whenever someone asks about this, I get very high training stress scores for my swims. I don't know if my zones are 100% accurate on my swims. And like I said, I log my sauna sessions, if I'm doing mobility, so that probably adds an extra 10 to 20 a day stress. But I have a very high training stress score.
That's fascinating stuff, man. I got to run to another meeting, but this has been really cool. Let me know if there's anything we can do for you. We can definitely take a look and graph out your weight changes. If you do have questions, like Am I actually in a calorie deficit or maintenance? We'll figure that out for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. And then if there's anything you guys want to do with me, like I said, another test in the future, or if there's any other research opportunities you have coming up, or any tests that you guys want to do, let me know. I'd be more than happy to do anything on my end with you guys, because I think what you guys do is super cool and interesting, and I'd love to help out in any way possible. So
Appreciate it.
yeah.
Yeah, likewise. Feel the same way. Good luck to you, man. Good luck in this this next build up.
Thank you.
It's really exciting what you're trying to put together.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, man. Have a good one.
Bye. There you guys go. Yeah, pretty insightful call. If there's anything I learned, it's that I know how to eat a lot. Shout out to Nerdy Nuts for being able to fuel my workouts. No, but I do place a big emphasis on protein. As you guys heard, I only weigh 145 pounds, but I try to eat at least 150 grams of protein a day. Honestly, with the amount I'm eating, I'm around 200 grams, and it's not too hard for me, just because, when you're eating 7,000 calories a day, you're just going to be eating a lot of not just protein, but carbs and fats in general. The body fat. That was something I did want to bring up. I did get one of those in-body scanners done 2 days after the first day of the test on that Monday. And that test came out to around 9% body fat. But I do think I was pretty dehydrated going into that. I find that Mondays are usually my lowest weigh-in days, and I'm usually the most dehydrated because I'm coming off such a big weekend of training. So Mondays I'm usually very dehydrated. Then the rest of the week, I drink more water and the hydration comes back. So that was pretty interesting. But big thanks, as I mentioned, to Hari again. That was a great call. Learned a lot. I hope to be able to do more with them in the future. Super insightful company. I never heard of the doubly labeled water, or their H2O rather, not water, before. So this was a learning experience for me. I'm sure for you as well. If there's anything you guys want me to ask them, let me know in the comments down below. I can shoot them an email, or he even offered to get on another call. So that'd be super interesting. I keep saying interesting. But man, I honestly did not think I was burning as many calories as I am. Because I know I eat a lot, but I did not expect the numbers to be as high as they were. So I'm a little shocked as well, that's for sure. But it's good that I'm fueling my workouts. And as I mentioned, if there's any other questions you guys want me to ask them, if there's anything that you want to ask me, let me know in the comments down below. And as I think I did mention this at the beginning, but I do have a discount code. If you guys want to get your own test done, I think the code is Parker. So just enter Parker at checkout. You'll be able to get some money off your test because they're not cheap. But as you guys can see, they're very scientific. They got all the data. They hop on a call with you. So honestly, I can't recommend it enough. Super easy to do, and I definitely learned a lot. And if you want to take your performance to the next level, you can only train as hard as you can recover. And I think you can split recovery into 2 camps, sleeping and eating. So they can't help you with the sleeping, but they can definitely help you with the eating part of it. So I would highly recommend getting this test done if you are looking to take your performance to the next level and want to make sure that you're fueling adequately enough and just eating enough. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. Very fun video to make and to do. And we'll catch you in the next one. Hopefully, I think I will try to do this test again leading up to an Ironman, because even though this was a big week of training, it wasn't anything out of the ordinary for me. You guys have all seen the past videos of me training 40 hours a week, 30 hours a week. So I think leading into like Ironman Texas, when I am training 40 hours a week, maybe I can top that Tour de France guy and take the #1 spot for the most calories burned. We'll see. That could be a fun YouTube challenge. How many calories can I burn in a week? All right. We'll see you guys in the next one.